think we are live right now.
Ooh.
Let's do a little check on ourselves on the YouTubes.
Yeah, I moved my mic just now, so
Nope, you sound good. You sound good. All right, Bro Media.
we're live on the tubes.
We're live on the tube.
All right. Oh yeah, look at that.
Nope, you sound good. You sound good. All right, Bro Media. All right. I'm trying to just check audio. We're running a test, ladies and gent, just to make sure. Oh, I'm listening to something else.
I just played back. Let me see if I can hear myself.
We're live on the tube.
Yeah.
We're live on the.
Yeah, it sounds fine to me.
Okay, cool. We're good. We're Gucci. All right. Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bro Media podcast. I'm Lazarus, and I'm a regular guy, entrepreneur. I'm a musician. I love music. It's a passion that I have, and I'm a father. I'm a husband, and at the end of the day, I'm just a normal, everyday person, just like you. I get up, put on my pants, go to work, just like everybody else. And I'm here with my co-founder, co-host, Ryan. Go ahead, Ryan.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to an I think our third or fourth podcast, a live podcast attempt.
Yep.
I think that's about right.
Yep. I think we're good now. Equipment wise, I think that was
Yeah,
our limitation, but I think we're back. We're back.
it's
We're good.
always the equipment.
Yep.
You know, you're one step away from being awesome or terrible at all times. But what's up, everybody? I'm Ryan, Bro Media podcast co-founder with my buddy Laz. I'm a businessman, entrepreneur, father, husband, musician, shenanigator, uh, fellow 2A advocate.
Yep.
Uh, I don't know what else I can say. My credentials are deep, deep enough, I guess, as they say. But welcome back to another episode, and so much has happened over the course since we last talked with just everything in the media. I got into some pretty interesting conversations over Facebook, which I swore I would never do. Um, just today, even. Um, lots been up and downs, man.
Definitely. Well,
Highs and lows.
let's start off with that because I feel like that's like a staple of how we start off our conversations, just to see check in on each other, how our weeks have gone or month, and our high and low. So you can take the reins and start and go off first. Go for it.
For sure, man. So, highs and lows business has been um, ups and downs with the economy flow. Um, but last week, I started planning this about 2 weeks ago, just ways as an entrepreneur. And, I've been doing in the security world, I've been in the business since 93, so 31 years. And, I started on my own with an LLC in 2006, and then I launched it in 2012. So I've technically been on my own for quite some time um, as a business person. But as projects get huge and you're under the umbrella of other people in those projects, and if those people decide to stop doing it, then what happens to you? So I took everything into my own hands last week, did all of the certifications, studied, crammed, disappeared. I've been off the grid for a while. People have messaged me, "Hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. Are you okay?" I'm good. I've been on the grind for what's best for me and my family, for my business. So I got, great announcements. I did a company name change for the business because we've kind of headed into a direction where my old business name was kind of painting us into a residential corner, which we're 99% commercial and have been for some time. So also wanted to get into the fire aspect of things. I've done fire for other people. So lots of certifications and credentials and stuff. Really exciting news though. Like, um, at this point now, everything is passed. The name change is done. Now I just have to write checks to all the people and and they're pre-written and ready to go. So licensed, bonded for
There you
those
go.
types of things. Going into a totally different world where now we're able to walk into any building and bid it without worrying about being under the umbrella of national accounts that do these things. We can be side by side.
That's what you
You know?
call next level. Like
Yeah, and so
always going
that's
that
really what.
always going not just staying stagnant, but always just thinking about that one step ahead.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's like I said before. I'm okay with being scared, but I'm not. I have no fear. I'm not going to live in fear of the future. Um, but trying something new is always going to be a little scary.
Always,
Uh,
always.
and I welcome that. Like I live for those moments of like, is this going to work? And if not, you know what? I'll go back to the drawing board. But from what I know and from the opportunities that I've had and missed, um, this is going to be the best for what I'm into right now for
Yeah.
that business. I mean, I have my real estate investing company, and but my main bread and butter has been security for as long as I can remember. Um, so with that said, yeah, I had I'm not a book guy. I'm not a studier. I have never enjoyed school. I've never been somebody that's considered book smart. Everything that I've learned has been in the streets or with these hands. So um, I learned that way. If it interests me, I'm into it. If I'm not into it, I won't learn it. I don't care. I don't. Yeah. With that said, like I'm pretty stoked on myself that I was able to um, get in there and just get it done.
No,
So
I'm
that's
proud of you,
exciting,
man,
man.
and that's awesome to hear that. That I guess you are taking it into your own hands, and you are thinking like as an entrepreneur, and you are taking those steps to ensure that that you can bid on those high end jobs or the big jobs and everything. That's awesome to hear, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Heck yeah.
Um, I just sorry, I was responding to somebody. I forgot we were live for a second
Yeah.
there.
Well, yep.
I
We're
just
live.
it was my employee just sent me a message about tomorrow, so I was getting back to him. I just super thankful for the opportunities to grow. I think that's if you're not happy in a place that you're at in life, it's just time. One of my best pal sent me something yesterday that said, if you wait for everything to be perfect, life will pass you by. And that was super true. Like, you're never really going to be ready for anything new.
Right.
Um, one of my friends is wanting to have a baby, and, I told him, you're never going to have all your ducks in a row. You should just do it because if you wait for everything to be perfect, it's never going to be perfect. You create your own level of comfort and your own level of whatever you think is stable
Mm-hmm.
and go for it. Send it. Yeah. People have their own ideas about how you should live your life, but it's at the end of the day, it's your life, and you should charge, man. If that's what you want to do, send it.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's really the.
I
I
took.
really had like no lows really, other than just studying.
Yeah.
Hate studying. Uh, I'm not a huge fan of reading about Arizona law and statutes and uh, uh, things that I'll never need to know about, but it's required by test makers.
Yep.
They're literally they're just that the test people.
All
Um,
right. Well, look.
so yeah, man.
Well,
I
my
just got confirmation. My buddy just is listening, and he said you guys sound spot on as far as
right
the
on.
audio
That's what.
level
Heck
goes.
yeah. That's what I like to hear. Tell your buddy. Thank you for verifying that for us. And
That was my buddy that just sent me that thing about waiting for the everything to be perfect too.
heck yeah.
One of our adamant followers, man, listens and watches
Heck
and
yeah.
really enjoys our conversation.
Yeah. Tell him to write a question in the chat, and
Well,
Give
the
us a
thing about
tell him to give us a topic and
the thing about my best pal is he's the boogeyman. You'll
oh
never see him on social media.
okay
You'll never see him commenting on anything.
okay
He's there, but you won't know it unless he tells you. It has to do with his line of work. Um, it's one of the greatest and best heroic people that I know, but not in the spotlight. Doesn't do the spotlight, man. So,
all right.
but
I'll give
that
you my
actually,
high and low then.
yeah, send it.
So today, pretty cool. Work's pretty heavy. Just schedule calls back to back, and I was like, I like watching video game streamers. I like them. I like seeing them play video games, and it's more like it's clean TV for the most part. Clean TV. Like you just put it on the computer as you're working, you're doing tasks or whatever, and the guy that I like to watch, his name's Dr. Lupo, and he plays a lot of these style shooter games where they're like extraction type shooter games.
Mhm.
Well, he's going through his thing. I had no idea he was doing a giveaway or anything like that. And he's all like, comment down in the chat, just that you're here, and whoever chat, comments, they have this like little roll system or whatever. Whoever's, you know, active for like that minute or whatever, they
Yeah.
they roll the dice and they choose somebody. I just happened to comment on there, like I'm here to win, daddy. Like it was just something goofy, you know what I mean? Like,
Not
and
the attention getter.
and
Like, what'd you say?
maybe it was the comment that won, not so much me,
Yeah.
because I never win. Anyways,
Yeah.
out of I think there was like 5,000 people watching at the time. Him playing a video game. He says Streamlabs. I'm like, what? out of all the thousands of people watching him, like, anyways, I won. So
That's
his
good, man.
little cool little giveaway.
Yeah.
A Logitech mouse and keyboard. Hashtag thank you for, and you give me some little bit of clout. Now I'm giving it back. Not much that I have to give,
man.
not much that I have to give, but I'm just thank you, Dr. Lupo and Logitech for the giveaway. It's pretty cool.
That's cool, man.
Thumbs
That's
up.
really cool. I'm always shocked about how to get people's attention. When you read those type of things, you're like that. How did that comment get that person's attention?
Right.
And then you'll see like 10, 15, 20, 100 people commenting just like you under it because it got attention.
Yeah.
And it just starts to have that diminishing return where like too late, you already got, be original.
So on my X account, I clipped it off my phone or whatever, and obviously I told him, hey, I was busy at work and whatnot, but thank you. It was totally unexpected. It kind of like made my day. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool. And as far as, well, I think I've had a lot of ups. Just I've been super busy the last 2 weeks. I played at church. I think I might have mentioned this before. I auditioned for the church to play guitar, and then obviously they were cool with me, and I'm cool with them. So we're playing.
Vibing.
Yeah, we're vibing. So I played from the first time. What was it, last Sunday? I think it was last Sunday. Yeah, this last Sunday, and it was not yesterday. A week ago.
I saw you'd posted
Yeah.
something, a footage of that.
Yeah, they live streamed, so I clipped it and I just posted on there just because I have to talk about God. Like God's been so good to me. Like I'm talking about like always there for us. Like I'll tell you testimony. Me and my wife never fight about finances. We're pretty faithful with our relationship with God, and not that we give it all to Him as far as like blindlessly following Him, but like we have a great foundation with Jesus and following everything. So we pray about finances, we pray about family, and even in the moments where like our bank account's kind of like like low, um sometimes He has he sends us a reminder like I'll get some type of weird bonus I wasn't even expecting, or the
Yeah.
or the wife, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
or I get a random check in the mail, that ex old commissions that never got paid out or something like that.
Nice. That's
and
great.
and it just puts it in perspective, like if and it's testimony, like, follow God. Yes, the whole world's against us. You know what I mean? We're not going with the grain of whatever's going on in the world and everything,
Hmm.
and we stick out, especially when asked certain questions, and what do we believe and whatever.
Yeah,
But he's always there, no matter
for
what,
sure.
no matter what
Yeah.
the circumstance. So yeah, so forgot, I lost my train of thought with that. Like, it feels good to talk about it, and I guess we have the forum here to kind of talk about God and whatever I guess we want to. So feels good to
Right on,
to
man.
talk
Yeah,
about it.
100%.
But oh yeah, just a lot of things happening. Restoring my Bronco. Took a quick trip to Mexico on Saturday. Picked up those seats. I sent you pictures on those.
Yeah, they
Um,
did an outstanding job.
yeah, like it took a month, but like, I'm not driving the vehicle. It has no AC right now,
Right.
so it's not like I'm in a hurry to drive it right now. But I'm actually excited to get it driving, like start driving it probably like around the October November dates. Is where foresee myself kind of like hopping in there and taking
Dude,
it.
you have to maiden voyage over here and
Heck
come
yeah.
to, see, it's about what, about 12 miles away or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
oh yeah, it'll make it.
There you go.
$50 to back out.
Yeah.
Another 100 to drive down with today's
Yeah.
prices.
When you get about six gallons to the mile on that
Some,
thing.
yep, basically. But
That's
yeah, I
good.
think, I think I'm good with highs and lows. Just a lot to be grateful for. A lot of great stuff just happening.
That's great, man. Yeah. I really believe, like, we run through peaks and valleys in our lives. Um, and everything is a part of your test, right? Testimony, test in general is a great way of saying it. Even the test that I had proctored for my exam was starting at 11. Sorry, I'm live. Dogs are losing it. 1 second.
They're good, dude.
Um,
Oh, they're
Now the
good.
giant one just got up to go see what's going on. Um, no idea why that happened. Sorry about that.
You're good.
But uh, the test was proctored at 11:30 at night, and I didn't actually, because of technical difficulties. I sat right here, got on, and they wanted me to show them around the room with my camera. So it's attached to my giant screen here, so I can float this around and I can turn it. And I showed them everything, but they wanted to see under my desk to make sure I wasn't cheating. And I was like, I can't show you under the desk with this camera, because it's attached to my screen. It's an actual real camera. It's not a webcam. I can't
Hmm.
just take it off, and I have cable management. I'm trying to explain this to someone that's not responding to me, um, and it's driving me insane. So uh, finally, I said, I can take my laptop off my docking station and do it here. When I did that, I lost connection. So I had to start over. I finally got my test going at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was tired. I was really annoyed. It was I was what's the word? Dysregulated. I was very much, as kids, when you're a child and you're uh, what you think is going to happen doesn't happen. Whether it's going to the store or your parents telling you can do something and then you can't, or vice versa. It can throw off your patterns, and adults have patterns too. Especially when I thought I would sit here and take this test, and all this stuff, so that I kept telling myself this is also part of the test. This is also a part of who I am and facing adversity. And this is just, yeah, it's annoying, but I'm going to take the test regardless. Like, I've studied, and I'm going to do what I got to do. And that is what it is. So, uh, even right now with my ADHD and the dog's freaking out and no one's home right now to tell them to shut up, I just got to tune it out. We're live. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, life is a big test on how you deal with it and how you respond, what comes your way,
Definitely.
whether it's in your spiritual journey or your work journey or anything that really is taking you away from or adding you to your environment. So cops go through it, military dudes like us go through it. It's really about how you respond
Mm-hmm.
to whatever's thrown your way. It's never ideal. So, that goes back to the whole thing of just moving when things aren't perfect. Just keep moving.
Just
It's
keep
fine.
moving. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Heck yeah, dude. No, that whole testing. I know I shared my side of it, but state testing, like, I'm indifferent about it. Yeah, it's great, but is it really necessary? I don't know. I've seen both sides of the aisle. So I think some of it is just over regulation, but then also you also get the side of it. You want to have some type of at least some bare minimum standard for
yeah.
companies and all
Well,
that stuff.
it weeds out the people. Like,
Yeah.
for certain for years, the certain requirement was one thing, and then now they're doing away with it. So now you have to keep up on it. But the new one actually is like vetting, like you got to pay into this. Like it's not cheap,
Yep.
and it really does change the way it changes the field big time. Um, and it will weed out the people because it's not fun to pay for, so you got to have the work to cover it. So I mean, you know, it's a blessing to be able to have those things in place, but it's the only way to get to the next level. Oh, that test, after getting all the rigmarole going, I have got my mic on just like this, but I'm turned this way, my laptop, and I start to read. I'm Italian. I read out loud. I start to read the first question, and the screen pops up, warning, and the test just so do not talk during this test.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay. And they were like, don't cover your face, don't look away from the screen. I had to take my camera phone and I had to take my camera phone like this and put it on selfie mode, and then like show them the top of my keyboard like down,
Yeah.
so that way they couldn't see like notes. And so, I said, okay, sorry about that. So 5 minutes into it, I'm getting into the test, I'm blasting. All of a sudden it pops up and they're like, we can't hear you. Did you turn off your microphone? And I was like, are you serious? You just told me not to talk. That's why you haven't heard me. I'm not trying to fail my test. And so they, dysregulation. I'm genuinely a calm person. Uh, but I'm fired up internally. I'm
Yep.
like, I'm tired. I've been studying all day. And then, 10 minutes into it, I'm still focusing and focusing. And there was a question that came across. It was a total trick question. And I had studied this question and it was asked so strange. And all I said was, huh, well. As soon as I said, wow, there comes the warning. Warning pops up again. And it was like, if you speak one more time, your test is over. You
Jeez.
fail. And I was like, I just looked at the camera. I was like, are you,
Yeah.
are you serious? Like, I didn't say anything. And I typed and said, I was caught off guard by this question. That's why I said, wow. And they're like, we understand, but your sponsor, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whatever. I just hunkered down, blasted the test out, passed, and they disappeared. And I was so mad, but I was also happy because I saw like the green success, or it said green, it was green and
Yep.
passed. And then they were like, boom, they were gone. Like the pop smoke, they were out. So I was like, I'm pretty sure I passed.
Have you ever done
And I'm
those in
like,
person?
no,
Yeah. It's
no, like I'm not a tester. I don't take tests. I mean, my wife will no longer allow me to say that I'm bad at testing because the study material was supposed to take me 10 days to learn. It took me a day and a half. And the business law was supposed to take me a day, and it took me 20 minutes. It's because I wanted it. I wanted to know.
Yep.
So um, that right there kind of answered me. My question is like, really, if I really do want to know about something, I will learn it. If I don't care, I will not. I will tune out. Even my dad was asking me questions about some Ohm's law the other day, and I was like, don't ask me any questions right now because I'm so focused on passing this test that I don't want to think about anything else. I don't want another math question that I have to answer or write out or look at. Like, just let me get through this test and then we can get into it.
Yeah.
I'm just playing the game. I don't care about how, like, I just want to pass the test. I don't really need to know the answer because that doesn't really pertain to what I'm doing anyways.
Yep.
Uh, but anyways, yeah, that was my test, proctor test. I hadn't experienced it before, and it sucked. Uh, but I'm not a school guy. I left high school in my junior year. Actually, I'm sorry, my second week of my senior year, I left high school and never went back. Uh, I wasn't going to graduate with my friends. I wanted to work, um, and I did, and I started, and now I'm here. So one of the first places I ever worked, they're now my customer, and the guy that I the guy that I yelled at and quit when I was a kid for locking me outside during a bar fight when I was just a 16-year-old kid. He's the janitor there now. He still works there. He was my manager though. Interesting. It was a Mexican food restaurant up North Phoenix called Valley Luna. It was my first place I ever worked. They're still my customer. They're great people. So, you know, I never looked back. So testing in school was never my thing. I did do college for a couple years, just because I wanted to meet chicks, to be fair. Um, I didn't care what I was studying. I wanted to go and hang out with the boys and meet chicks. And there weren't very many chicks at the community college I
Yeah,
went to.
I did community college too, but it was
Yeah,
like for 4 weeks, and then I'm like, I can't do this. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't in my. I didn't have patience for it. It wasn't. I couldn't foresee myself going for 4 5 years continuously to get some degree or something like that.
yeah,
And I still don't see myself, going. Yeah, do I see some path, where I can get my bachelor's degree and go into management, maybe? But I'm not in management. I'm in consulting basically right now. So I don't. It's kind of like you said. Is like you said. It's like, why I don't want to learn something that I'm not really gonna use. You know.
right. Yeah, one of my high school teachers, his name is Mr. Lee. I'll never forget him. He was a jerk, but um, he uh, he kind of inspired me. He said it in front of my parents during a parent teacher conference, and I was there. He's like, Ryan's the first guy that I would hire and the first guy that I would fire because he's personable. He knows what he's up to. He's great, but he doesn't apply himself. And I was like, at that point, as a sophomore, maybe I was like, you mo, like I was
Mm-hmm.
like, you don't even know me. This is a story this is not a story that I'm living, but it's the story you're believing. And I was young. I probably didn't apply myself. I was a teenager. What teenagers are like, you know, I didn't like school. So exactly wasn't I wasn't applying myself, but I liked people and I still do. I still enjoy relationships with people. I still love making sure that the people I care about are good and the customers and friends and all of those things. I still enjoy all those things. But I apply the shit out of myself now because I don't ever want that feeling again to feel like that's where somebody views me is that I don't try. So I'm going to be a gnarly, entrepreneur. I'm going to be balls first at most of the things that I do, um, because that is the way that I've learned it. I
Yeah.
don't study. I will go and I will do. And if I fail, I'll do it again tomorrow better. And I'll probably not fail. And I know that asking for help and doing it together, we're better together. I couldn't do a podcast without you, would be weird. People do it, but I'm not that interesting by myself. I like the camaraderie of all of it. And same with business. I wouldn't be anywhere without the guys that have helped me get there. So yeah, that was one of my high school things where I was like, this mofo right here, like you don't know me at all. You just know that I don't pay attention in your class, and but you also know that I'm cool. I'm not a class clown. I don't care. I'm not going to pay attention. I'm
Yeah.
checked out.
That
So
was definitely me in high school. I'll give you the example, like Spanish class for me. Obviously, I already knew Spanish, and my family's from Mexico. We spoke Spanish growing up. That was my first language, and I just didn't see benefit of me doing homework throughout the week for Spanish. I would even tell the teachers, like, I speak Spanish every day. Like I live Spanish.
Yeah.
And so I stopped doing my homework. So
Did you?
yeah, she would just skip me. Like when she would be collecting the worksheets, she learned to skip me because she knew that I was not going to give her
Dang.
anything. And I would just do like her little exams or tests that she would do, like, and I would ace them. Like obviously I didn't need it, and that's always been my mentality. Like I hate wasting time.
Yeah.
Like that's why I believe like writing essays. It's good for a certain field if you're like writing journals and you're in the medical field and you're writing, big like medical entries and all that stuff. Great.
Well, some of my friends are geniuses, and they're doctors and chiropractors, and they know everything about everything, and they had to study that. They couldn't
Yeah.
just, they can't. Not everybody can be, Norm from Cheers and
Yeah.
just know random stuff.
Yep.
I go see my chiropractor uh, for something here, and he's like, "Actually, did you know it's your pinky toe
Yep.
that's weird, and
That's
to
why you're
fix your pinky
feeling it on your
toe,
neck.
I got to jam my thumb in your ribs for a second." Like it's
Yep.
it's some science that I'm like, I don't really know how this. I know
See
I'm
that
not going to like
see,
it. Just fix it.
see
Yeah.
there's fields that obviously require education. Like obviously a doctor's a big one.
Yeah.
You got to know what you got to know stuff.
Well, what a trust level too, right? Like
um
you
like you said, a
gotta earn
chiropractor,
that.
a lawyer, there's fields, an engineer, math, all that crazy stuff. But there
Hmm.
are fields out there that don't require that depth of education, and I think that's
Right.
why I get upset at the education, like at colleges having you do these 4 year um, degrees where it's like it's literally a waste of time. So
Oh,
and
yeah.
and most companies nowadays, they're not even looking at bachelor's degrees anymore.
Hmm.
They're looking at people that have work experience, life experience,
Yeah.
and
Well, time is so valuable, and I think the older you get, the more you realize how much time did you waste, uh, and how much debt did you acquire getting that degree that you're not
and
using?
that's another aspect. Schools are super expensive nowadays, but they have
Yeah.
super these towns that are campuses now. Which is why it's fueling. Why it's so expensive to go to school.
Yeah. I'm thankful that I'm a tradesman, and my line of work was I literally learned in the field,
Yep.
and so I was fortunate enough to get taken under the wings of people that I already knew, and they just would teach me as I went, and that's what I've passed on to my technicians.
That's how I feel how I learned, especially with business and networking and doing
Yeah.
all that stuff. And obviously, like selling insurance, like that was my biggest thing. Kind of like you, like I got licenses, I got different certifications, and I just ran with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just like literally took those and I ran with it, and it opened up so many doors. I know so many people, and yeah, it's just I feel like and I'll say this: everybody's path is going to be different. It should be different. If it was so cookie cutter, this world would fall apart because it would be so boring. You
It
know?
really would. Yeah. Speaking of that, like I got into, and I don't usually uh, involve myself on social media politics posts at all.
Yeah.
Uh, but I've had our background as musicians. Most of the people that I know that were musicians and still are musicians, I'm friends with them still and their wives, from bands from way back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And so uh, this one lady that is very, very clear on where she stands, for not liking Trump and everything else. She posted I don't want to start any trap crap, but how do I'm looking for someone else's opinion on the right side of the fence about you know the gay marriage and stuff. Um, my background really is I'm more of a libertarian. I just want to be left alone. Um, I want to be able to do what I want. I want to be able to, you know, uh, go to my gay friend's marriage and plant weed if I want to, and shoot guns off and just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Um, so I I didn't want to say anything, but I was like, I can probably pull this off and be kind and try to prove a point that I'm going to say what I have to say, and I'm going to say it gentle, and I'm going to say it kind, and then I'm going to preface it at the end and say, unfortunately, I know this post will probably get taken down because as soon as it gets ugly, I'm going to remove it. I hope that I'm not attacked for my views, um, because I have a child that struggles with gender, so I'm fair game. I'm fair to say how I feel. So I
Yeah.
said those things, and oh man, it was fine for a while. It was good, And then I'm trying to work. I kind of regretted it because I kept seeing notifications, and I'm like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like answering the phone for a telemarketer, and like, oh, he answered. Put him in the call. That I just kept getting notifications, and so I would answer a question somebody would ask, and it was genuinely nice. Uh, then the sharks came.
Mm-hmm.
That was like
Smell blood.
boom, 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 and
Yeah.
started calling the names, and I was like, sick. All right, well, I respect this platform, my friend's page, and so this is where I leave. And I wish you well. And as soon as the name calling and the craziness happens, I'm out because no
Nobody's
matter what,
nobody's listening at that point.
yeah, it's like saying, I don't know. It's like forgetting to post that you went to the gym on social media, and so it doesn't count that you actually did it, or uh, it's just crazy to me, right? Like we have this format to talk about whatever we want to talk about, and most of the time we're very biased and are very neutral
Yeah.
on everything because I don't want to create more division as humans. I don't want to have um, I don't want to further down the line. I forgot who it was that said um, it was Morgan Freeman was being interviewed, and they asked him. He doesn't like questions about black and white things. Black and white people. More or less, he's like somebody asked him about at what point uh, does the division stop, and he says the second you stop calling me a black man and
Mm-hmm.
just start calling me a man or a human just like you. And that's really where it's at for me. Like, we're just people. We're humans. We all have a beating heart. Your heart might do things mine doesn't. You might believe things that I don't. Cool. That's what makes us individuals. We're not the same. We could have same ideas, but we're not the same.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page when we say like we're open to have a conversation, kind of like how you put yourself. You made that post, like to
Yeah.
your friend's page, but in the back of your mind, you already knew that somebody or someone was gonna
Attack.
just attack or whatever.
I messaged her and I said, hey, I took my post down. It did get ugly. I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to. You just wanted. Nobody had the balls to say anything. I'm
Yeah,
not. Maybe she doesn't have any friends that are kind of,
and
not
that's a problem nowadays. Everybody's in their own little echo chamber. Then when they hear another wave or ripple come in that's not in their wavelength,
right.
they just blow up.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the idea of why we do our podcast is because we do want to engage. We should be engaging,
Mhm.
not how you got, how you're describing it, that you got
Yeah.
attacked and you probably got called a few names here and there. Like I can already act like from what's been
It was
happening.
respectable
Yeah,
until the drunk uncle came home. It was one
yeah,
of those things where it was like, oh, here we go. And I didn't get mad because I expected it. And I was genuinely at every single post very respectful and
yeah,
answered
yeah.
very clearly.
And
Um,
I think that's awesome that you put yourself out there because a lot of people don't do it. They just rather avoid the conversation, and that's kind of what sucks about social media. Like,
it bothered me so much that I called one of my oldest and uh, really good friend. His name's Peter.
mm-hmm,
He's uh, an avid Democrat. Like he's on the committee. He does things like he's got the signs in the yard. But he and I have always been able to joke with each other. Excuse
yeah,
me. He and I have always been able to joke with each other about beliefs, from religious beliefs to political. So I called him today and I read him the question from the lady, and I read him my answer, and he's like, dude, it's beautifully put. He's like, that is, you cannot possibly take that and make it something bad. He's like, that is, you are wishing people well on their journeys, and you're explaining yours because it was asked, and it wasn't about anything else other than that. It wasn't the border. It wasn't
Yeah, yeah,
all of these other things. It was, I stayed on the target, and then it was well until it wasn't. It went sideways, and I was like,
yeah.
and I showed him that too. He goes, dude, you can't, like, there's always somebody that's going to start it off, that's going to come in, swing in, not even read anything else, just see that what you said in the first paragraph, um, talking
Just
about,
read the headline and then just
yeah,
attack.
skim it and then send it. And then it was like, I had checked it and I was like, oh, here we go. And like, I had walked in from the garage, sat on the couch, and it had like 15 more comments of just everybody jumping in the pool. Yeah, let's get that mother. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, sick. All right, well, this is my friend's page. I'm respectfully out. My wife just got home. There goes all the animals. Um, I had to walk away, but it's fine. Like, no
Uh,
harm, no foul.
yeah,
I expected it.
there's
I wasn't
there's no
being
point.
mean.
There's no point to be arguing online because you're not changing people's minds. It becomes what if, or try to fact, trump somebody else's fact with another, you know, fact or whatever, or an opinion. Like it just becomes this back and forward, and there's no traction.
Yeah.
Just because everybody is very brave behind the
Hey,
keyboard.
can you hear these jerks?
What's that?
Can you hear these jerks barking?
Uh
Oh, good. They're losing their minds right now. I mean, like full on
No, I can't hear him.
howling.
No, I can't hear him.
Yeah. My wife just got home and apparently they didn't think they were ever going to see her again.
That's that.
They're losing it. No, they just stopped. I'm glad you can't hear that. It was so loud. I got to be honest with you. I couldn't really hear the last part you said. So I
No,
was
I was just
contemplating getting up and going in there and
no.
angry dad facing it.
You're good. I was just kind of closing off the idea. It's like I'm glad that you were able to kind of start the Discord civilly and like gracefully, because a lot of people, again, nowadays social media is just ugly. That's just the world we live in.
Yeah.
It's a town, circle, or square where anybody can talk
Mhm.
without much recourse or anything like that. And that's why I think that's why BroMedia, we started BroMedia. It's because we want to have these conversations and be
Yeah.
civil, and then go grab a burger at the end of the
For real,
conversation,
man.
like that.
It's so easy to be kind,
Yep.
right? Like I could get mad about pretty much anything all day long, but is it really going to do any good? For me as mentally, is it going to do any good for my
Yeah, yeah.
my family going to enjoy an angry dad or an angry husband or
Just because of some like words on an internet page, like yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But
So yeah, there's the internet's a wild place. I skim. I usually just lurk. I stick to myself. I post uh, videos of me playing bass, although I haven't done that in a while. It's because I've been so
I
busy.
will say the stuff that
That's it, dude.
I do feel like the stuff that we should be outraging, as a community, as a world, we don't.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I'm kind of segueing a little bit, because I'm not sure if you've seen, but like in the UK, there's like protests, there's like a whole bunch of crazy stuff happening. There's
Saw that.
close
Well,
to like I don't want to call it a civil war yet, because that's not happening yet, but it's at a brink where these people could be, fighting between each other pretty soon, you
yeah.
know, and the not funny, but there was a gentleman, I don't know who it is in the UK out there, but he was like a chief or something like that. He's like, because everybody's kind of like having opinions and this and that, and
Chief of police.
yeah, because yeah, the chief of police. So people in the UK right now are getting arrested for Facebook posts.
Oh, it's Mark Raleigh.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
I
something.
saw that. They were going to the house. I
They're
just started
going to
looking
their
more.
houses. They're literally taking people out of their houses and taking them to jail and sent.
They even said they would come here,
That's what I was gonna say.
extradite you out of here.
That's what I was gonna head into. Like the guy had the balls to say, like anybody talking stuff like we're gonna get you, we're gonna extradite you. I'm like,
Yeah.
hold up, did y'all forget 1776?
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
like we live in a different world than you guys.
yeah.
Like we separated from you officially. Like we sent you a document.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
you guys have no power
Yeah.
over over any citizen in the United States.
Yeah.
I,
Good luck, man.
I
Good luck. Who's gonna come to your house, uh, whether it's the
but
sheriff's department or wherever you live, and look you in the eye and say, "Hey, some dude in Europe is having you needs you to get on a plane, and he's mad at you for something you said on the internet."
the
It's not gonna happen.
the
You know
scary
what I
the
mean?
scary thing is this is not the first time that it's happened. It happened in Australia, especially during the whole COVID lockdowns and everything. So if you were posting, the misinformation,
Hmm.
disinformation, I hate those words honestly. I literally
Yeah.
despise those words.
Yeah.
They sound so stupid. But
Yep.
um it literally all it means is a different opinion that you don't agree with. That's exactly what it means. Anyways, in Australia, that's where it happened. People were posting stuff like, I'm not taking the vaccine, or the vaccine is, responsible for, also responsible for deaths. All this type of stuff was getting you arrested also in Australia. Now the similar things happen, and if you're posting things on in the UK about the riots that they're happening, or you're saying something that's against the government or whatever, and they're coming to your home and arresting you. That's just crazy that it's actually
Oh
happened.
man.
Right now we should
Yeah.
we should be like, hold up. In the United States, we have a little thing called the First Amendment, and then that's the freedom of speech, and then we have, if that starts failing, we have the Second Amendment to back the first up. It's not about hunting. It's not about like recreational shooting. It's not about that. It's about the citizens being in control, not the government.
Yeah.
It's backwards over in the UK right now. Government's in control. In Australia, same thing. Government's in control. You know,
Well, from my understanding too, that's more of a uh, the ruling was more of like a I don't want to say dictatorship,
well, their
uh,
parliament. Their parliament.
parliament. That's yeah. And so we're watching Peaky Blinders right now too. So
Mm.
that's like kind of learning all that stuff. Switch a great show, by the way. Um, yeah, it's you're arrested for your thoughts. For your out loud thoughts. That's wild. Uh, can you imagine if we we lived in a world here that you could get arrested for just saying something on your own private space
I mean,
and
it kind of happened. I'm not saying that we got arrested, but like especially the COVID was a test for all that stuff. COVID lockdowns and all that. If you were to post something, anti vaccine or whatever 2 years ago, and you were employed somewhere, you would be fired if somebody reported you, or gave you out
yeah,
basically. And
yeah,
there's countless,
that's true. I mean, with COVID, with the masks thing,
the
you
yep.
had to comply if you wanted to fly or if you wanted to be.
Yeah, those were all like little tests of how far they can push it. And I hate to say it, but we gave up some liberty there.
We did. It was weird. I was working in a huge warehouse, million square foot warehouse during the COVID, um, California owned company here in Arizona, and I was up on the lift, 40 feet in the air by myself, and it's hot up there in the rafters. There's no above the air conditioners, right, in the summer. So I got my mask off and just hanging around my neck. And the mask police would come by and they would call me on the phone. Hey, so and so said they saw you up in the lift without a mask on. Um, I'm like, yeah, I'm in the middle of nowhere in this million square foot warehouse by myself with not a soul around me, and it's probably 130 degrees up here. Yeah, I'm not wearing a mask right now. Is that really a problem? No, but it's not. But I had to call and tell you because, I have to follow through on it. Okay.
It's my job, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
That
dude, come
that's
on, man.
that's
Like,
that's just a lame excuse nowadays. Like
yeah.
when you see like police officers doing their job, and
Hmm.
I'm pro, blue line and all that stuff.
Hmm.
But there's the ones that just take it over the edge. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's a disease, right? Like, people die from diseases. People live from having diseases. People have had cancer and survived. People have had cancer and died. Both my parents have passed away from cancer, skin cancer. My mom had pancreatic cancer. Um, but I've had cancer spots removed from my body,
mm-hmm.
and they were good. So, like, I'm not discrediting that illnesses can kill people, but people can get illnesses and not die. And not to discredit COVID, COVID killed a lot of people. A lot of people that shouldn't have died, they died. And, you know, uh, I didn't know anybody personally that died from COVID, but I had friends that had family members that had died, and it's terrible. So I wasn't making light of the mask situation, but I don't think the mask situation was the issue. You know, it's I've seen people pull their mask down and sneeze and put it back.
It's
Like
it,
dumb,
it
the
was
dumbest shit
it
stuff.
was
Sorry,
a
the dumbest
it
stuff.
was regulating. It was unnecessary policing.
Yeah,
Like you couldn't walk into a store. All this stuff. It's bringing back memories, man. Like it's getting me angry. Like literally.
yeah. Well, I remember walking into a
But
store when it was first popping, right? And my wife was with me, and she just looked around and just teared up. She was like,
yeah,
this feels
I
terrible."
remember going to Costco with the wife, and I was level one, going out buying all the the supplies, for lack of a better word, all
Yeah.
the food for the family. And the first, she hadn't gone out for about a year or a year and a half or whatever, and it was literally weird because she's like, "Am I doing this right?" She was trying to figure out how to live in the new norm. You know what I mean? Like, can I walk? I was like, and for me, it was like, don't wear the shit, man. Like,
Mhm.
like, like whatever. At this point,
Yeah.
like, it was like unnecessary policing. But what I was trying to say is, it's crazy how we outrage over the dumbest things, but things like this where like another country's experience. We just saw another like Venezuela just went through uh, their election, and the dictator guy Maduro literally is like, nah, I won. So, like the other guy didn't win. I'm one,
Yeah.
and I'm staying here. It's like that's the stuff that we should be outraging, like
Right.
uniting to help. Obviously, UK people should not be getting arrested for posting their thoughts and ideas and opinions online, however left or right or center they are. Same thing in Australia. That shit shouldn't be happening. That
Yeah.
that guy in Venezuela, he got outed by an election. The other guy should be in power. Like that's the stuff that we need to be like all be on the same page about. But like over here, we're you know debating about weird stuff that
Yeah.
we can go down the rabbit hole into.
Yeah. I keep getting um, there's an Instagram guy that he always seems to be doomy and gloomy when he posts stuff, and it's like World War III on the loom and breaking news, and speaks of World War III like that'd suck. It wouldn't be all, war is never cool. Fighting is not cool. As a second degree black belt that's been in lots of things, I don't like hurting people. I don't like punching people. I don't like the idea of killing or hurting another human.
Yeah,
I know how to do that stuff, but I'm not cool with it. Like it hurts too. Like
yeah,
punching someone in the face also hurts. I don't care who you are. Um, so war and death and all of those things are just terrible.
it's funny
Who,
'cause
who
you say
wants
that
that? Who
because
really wants that?
Trump
What's that?
and it's funny you say that because Trump and Elon. I'm not sure if you were on X listening to them talk earlier,
No, I
but
didn't see that.
that they brought up the idea of World War III and all this stuff, and people forget. It's like you said, It's actual war. War means people die. It gets
Mhm.
ugly. Bad things happen. You know, nobody wants that or should want that. You know, you hear sometimes like politicians say like, "Oh, we should go, attack this group or show we should, bomb over here or whatever." And they say no
Mhm.
so nonchalantly. Nobody should be wanting those types of things. Everybody again, same idea. The things that we should be wanting is peace. We
Right.
want peace. We want grace with other people around the world. We should want all that stuff together. But what's getting me just lately is just like the division. Instead of us being united, one country is like, hey, we should be wanting to be prosperous. Hey, we should want our their citizens to make more money. They should be able to
Mhm.
afford, groceries. They should be able to afford, gas to put in their vehicles. They should be able to afford a house if they want to buy a house.
Right.
That's the stuff that we should be worrying about as a whole. There's like obviously all the little stuff that we can handle community wise, like education or um, security, like policing and all that stuff. Like that's little stuff that we should be. I shouldn't say that knocking it down in the importance things, but like we should just be united as a country and moving forward. And I just feel like we're just so stagnant right now, and it's blackpilling me. And I hated to put it that way,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like I want the best for you because you're like a brother to me. I want the best for my neighbor around me. Um, but I can't we can't do that if we're constantly feeding the fire for wars. We're constantly policing each other. Oh, like so and so over here is not wearing a mask and go get them, or so and so posted something over here, call the police and they'll come get you. You know what I mean? Like the energy wasted in that, it doesn't end well.
Mhm.
It doesn't long term wise, it's not a good strategy for a society.
No, I agree.
So
Yep.
I'm just getting blackpilled because I've been too much on X.
Yeah.
I need to start watching other stuff.
No, the dude, the internet's a wild place. I mean, you can wander down. That's what scares me about, what is available to us as people, from children to adults. We had
Social media is not for kids.
when we grew up, when
I'll
I grew up, it was,
I'll die on that hill.
it was local television, and if you knew somebody that had cable TV, you might see a scrambled porn. You might see a scrambled boob, like a scrambled. Oh, I think I saw one.
Either that, it
But
was
that was it,
it
dude.
was
Like we
local
didn't.
beef too. Like, hey, I heard you talking something about me. You know what I mean? It was not transcontinental type of stuff. It was just like neighbor saying something and you squaring up with them and then handling it out, and then you went about your days. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't worrying about what Russia said yesterday, or we're not worrying about what Iran is doing right now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, social media is just it can get dark really quick based off your algorithm. Mine's really bad right now.
Yeah, yeah. I've noticed that. Like whatever I watch will automatically start showing me more of that. And I'm like, oh, why did I watch that?
Yep.
Now I'm stuck in like this loop. My wife's like, your feed is totally different than my feed.
I know like
Oh,
my wife will like pull like I'll be on Twitter on X or whatever, and then she was like, they show all that stuff on X. I was like, yeah, it's pretty not
dude,
it's pretty
I was
that's
going along minding my own business, and it's like there's all of a sudden there's just this girl with her like boobs out and net shirt, and like there is nothing that you can't see. I looked at my wife. I'm like, look, I was just watching something about baking a freaking uh something's not baking, smoking some sort of meat thing on the grill, and I went to the next page, and I was like, bam, boobs in the face. And I was like, they're they're trying to catch me slipping.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean that could be a kid. That could be. I get, I
Exactly.
guess
That
age
that could be a kid, like
I get age appropriate, you know, ads for health and stuff like that. Um, but the internet learns you. It learns your patterns. It learns, one thing you click on it, now it knows it. Now it's like, all right, we'll show them some. We'll hit him with some of that next time.
Yep.
I like boobs like the rest of them, but I don't need to be just minding my own business and then get hit in the face with somebody's boobs. You
Okay.
know,
Get get hit with the rack or two.
yeah, you're like, whoa, hey, that was aggressive.
Well, heck yeah, man. Well, I think that's our time, man. I want to thank everybody who jumped in and just kind of saw our stream here. So if you're on the stream, I just encourage you to drop a comment. Tell us how your day's going. If you have a question, we encourage questions. We're going to be doing these live streams here every other week on a Monday, and we're going to be recording our regular segment that's a little bit more organized. I feel like our live streams are going to be based off what happened that last weekend and probably just kind of what's on our mind. As we probably saw today, like we're all over the place with thoughts and great things happening in our lives and just what's happening out in the world. We're just as concerned as probably your neighbor. We're just normal human beings here. So I really appreciate you guys jumping on here. Like, comment, subscribe on the page. It really, really helps us out. It's
Yeah.
I believe the last time I saw the analytics, about 99% of the people watching, which is we have about 27,000 views on the page. 99% of the people are not a subscriber to the page. And if you like this down to earth content, we encourage you to hit that subscribe button so that you can make your way back here and find us. Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, thanks again for tuning in to our second or third attempt for a live podcast. Um, you never know if it's going to be good until it's over. So even when we do these recorded, usually we'll have an editing session, and the it gets uploaded, and then shorts get made. Um, but we really appreciate having a place to come to and chat with people, chat to each other, and just kind of spread our views and talk about things that are relevant in the world without being over the top and sounding like there's a lot of formats for that where you're just over the top aggressive
The
when you're
sky's
really.
not falling on our end. We just want to
Yeah,
talk about it.
yeah, we're not the what are they, the Tate brothers or the
Yeah.
where it's just one way and it's rammed down your throat. And hey, at the end of the day, I really truly enjoy and have love for people and compassion for people. I'm just a human too. um, I want to see how long I can live my life being kind. That's something that I promised to my mom before she passed away, that I would focus on being happy and being kind and doing the right thing as often as I can. That doesn't mean I'm anywhere near a perfect person. I'm off the air, of a mouth like a trucker. I probably sound unintelligent when I'm just hanging out. You and I are chopping it up. But you know me. You know that and I'm comfortable in that format. And same with you. We're just two dudes that have our core values that we brought into this, but also with the mindset of let's not piss everybody off. you know, I feel like on both sides of the fence politically, a lot could be achieved if you just weren't such a jerk. On how both sides see you, you could win more hearts over if you just were legit, just honest. Um, Politicians suck. Let's be honest. Sometimes we get crappy cards dealt to us, and this just happens to be. We're in that election year where we'll see what happens. Like we don't really know, but I look forward to kind of talking about that, maybe opening up dialect with people, as long as it's kind, as long as you're not sounding like a crazy person and you're not being completely rude and slamming other people. That's not what this is not a format for that. This isn't a place for people to be harsh. I think our goal as BroMedia bros is to create a place where there can be an intelligent conversation. And we can have people on that we respect and love and care for, that we can talk to, and maybe have different views, and that's fine. Um, it's not a place to just pin someone down jump their ass. You know,
Right.
it's not who we are. Our one of our taglines is "Be kind for no reason." It is free to be nice, you know, and there's no tax on that, you know. It's tax free. It's it's a dying art, but people should really search inside and go, do I really need to say those things? What am I getting out of it from being mean, or being, you know, defensive, or the other things? Just what am I getting out of that? I try to practice that as a parent with my kid. I don't want to be a negative influence to my child. I don't want to become an inner voice because to my child's, you know, the way that I speak to my kid and hears me talking about other things in life, I don't want that inner voice be a negative one. So um, that creates intelligent conversation. So trying to pass that on here as we have our format to talk on. Thanks again for tuning in. I think we went way over our normal hour, but did we?
No, we're good. We're about
We did a little bit.
about 5, 6 over, but that's
Yeah.
fine. We're good.
But live is a wild place, man. We're
Yeah.
musicians.
Yep.
Sometimes the sound guy's knocking at your door, you know, about to
Encore.
shut you down.
Encore.
But yeah, get my lighter out. But yeah, thanks again, guys, for tuning in. You know, we'll see you Wednesday, a couple days. Not live, but every 2 weeks you'll see us live. You guys take care of yourselves. Be kind for no reason. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
BroMedia Podcast.